Very cool reconstruction of the ancient city wall of Seoul. Interesting, 13 layers. Very cool scale model of it. Yeah, we're in the city, the Seoul City Wall Museum. Very good. Is this how they built the pyramids? The Koreans have the answer. Very cool. Wicked. Check out this scale model that they've done at the city gate next to where we're staying. So cool. All free as well to get in. But that's the model of how it's all done. Immaculate woodwork. Interesting stonework. Very cool. Getting our coffee made in here. No, it's not. It's $4.
No, I'm gonna eat caramel macchiato.
Oh yeah. $4.
$4.
$4.
$4. How many do you get?
Just so. Morning team, we're at the South Korean War Memorial and we've got this one here, and this symbolizes an actual event where a South Korean army officer came across his brother who was in the North Korean army in the field of battle. Imagine that, and that's sort of been the story we keep getting told about Korea, just been ripped apart between the North and the South. And the Chinese and the Russians insisted on communism, rushed the border, almost took the whole country, and then America with the Allies, the Kiwis, 6,000 Kiwis came along and helped get it to almost liberate it before the Chinese came in. So another epic monument they've got, so there's going to be a lot coming on in this museum today. All right, welcome in team. We're at the Korean War Memorial Museum, and as you've got to see, Korea is not shy of an epic monument to their relatively tragic history, but also the strength of their people to be able to come back from Japanese colonialism, Chinese invasion, the Allies helping save it. Their country, and then rebuilding their country into such a economic powerhouse that it is today. So you're all in bronze, symbolizing it. Komaru Stew, helping tell us where to go. So don't forget, 6,000 Kiwis served in the Korean War. So I believe we're going to be heading into that fantastic building, but we're going to check out some other stuff along the way. jets, boats, it's all on. All right, team, here we go. These are just all the planes that are in the grounds of the War Memorial Museum. This is a massive B-52 bomber. Mainly saw action in the Vietnam War, 15,000 tons of bombs. Not great, but you know, it is what it is. Look at the wingspan that were underneath in here. The rear gun turret actually took out 2 North Korean planes as well. That's what it said anyway. Huge. Yeah, you can see the wingspan on there. Massive engines. Lots of other stuff to check out. Looks like a New Zealand Air Force Type 1 trainer, the Shooting Star. There we go. You can read on to there. Look at all of these. So, massive military history over here. Republic of Korea Air Force. Another trainer, the Tweet. Get on them. What we got this one? This one looks like something out of New Zealand's World War II fleet from MOTAT. I'm going to stick to the planes. We've got the tanks on the other side, but we'll come back to that one. So this one, transport plane, the Commando they called it. That's it, deployed in 1942. Using the Korean Air Force in the 50s. Another massive one, great wingspan, propeller driven. So it's cruising along in here. So well worth coming along to. We got 28 kids on the trip. 26 of them chose to go shopping today. But Stu and I have chosen to come along with 2 kids. Shout out Levi, Vi and Lola. Wanted to come to the War Memorial Museum. You know, so bless kids that did. Thanks to the soldiers that fought for the freedom that the kids can choose to go shopping and that we can go to a War Memorial Museum. So thank you for the service for all of those out there, for all of those in the Air Force, you know. So obviously the Navy and the Army, all other service members though. Check it out, bit of Korean K-pop dancing down there. But also police, law enforcement, paramedics, firefighters, all you service members, anybody listening, thank you for your service. Another transport plane from the US. So the US has really provided the backbone of the Korean War. Was able to help them out. Domestically manufactured, check this thing out, in the 50s. So they started making their own plane, and this was it. So, wow. Don't know how much you'd survive that, but going up against these sort of things, but get on them. Republic of Korea Air Force. So that's it. We're still walking around. Still more to come. It's a pretty awesome jet. F-4C fighter bomber, the Phantom II. This was in the 60s that they deployed here. So Vietnam era. Then this one, another Korean Air Force jet. I've never seen so many cool jets. It's phenomenal. Fighter bomber, 2-seat supersonic fighter bomber, and the 1960s design. So that's cool. Yeah, awesome to see all these jets out there. Phenomenal. Republic of Korea Air Force on the display, the Freedom Fighter, single seat supersonic jet. Super fast. Look at the, you know, you got the bombers in there, missiles, Obviously there must be machine guns. You got another like drop down little rocket launchers in there. Check out the engines in there. Still got the burn on there, the afterburn. Excellent. All screwed together, eh? No flatheads. Phillips. Yeah, excellent. Once again, cheers to all the service members, past and present. Thank you for our freedom. We'll get this one last plane over there, then we'll switch over to a tank one, eh? So we got this one. This looks like a radar craft. So this was probably a command control in there, helping understand. Let's see whether my guesstimates are right. Maritime tracker plane, anti-submarine. So there we go. Very cool. All right, team. Now we're going for the anti-aircraft little tour here. 40mm quad-mounted naval guns. So probably off the naval ship. Shout out to the Navy. Granddad and Uncle Richard are both vets of the Navy. So we love the Navy. Cousin Ben as well. That's it. We're talking Royal New Zealand Navy. There we go. Missiles. That's it. We all know Kim, current leader North Korea. Also not so fondly known as the Rocket Man, but we've got some serious rockets going on in here. Danger, fair enough. Look at this. So yeah, nice to see these retired. The Nike Hercules, 1965. Introduced them. So another Republic of Korea missile. So yeah, missile. All right, infantry fighting vehicles. So this is what they would use to get to the front lines. They transport their troops to the front lines, then unload them generally out the back. So you got a couple of these. You can see that they've sort of painted them up, given them a bit of character, personality. You gotta remember, fundamentally, it's children fighting in the wars. As you get older, you realize 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, so, you know, they've done it, they've personalized that. So there you go, sitting in the back, ready to roll out. Imagine that. Whew, nervous, sitting in those, waiting, ready to deploy. So that gets you to the front line. And then you're gonna do it. So another couple of examples of the armored vehicle here. Pony Express. All right, all heavy tracked. Get through anything. So you're super armor plated on the front. Team Meow Tigers. So there we go. All there, just getting it in through to the front lines. US Army. So yeah, armored vehicles of Korea and the USA. Big tires on those ones. All right, team, this is going to be the artillery. Actually, you know, we've got an artillery museum on the Waikato, but nothing on this scale. So this is the sort of howitzers that they would just be bombing, using to shell each other for it. The size of these things, just pumping shells out into the enemy lines, cooling it in. So I've set this up. These are still all over the place. 19mm field guns. So World War II, then saw service again in the Korean War. Stu was saying, more civilians killed in the Korean War than any other war, which is rough to say the least. 3 million casualties, 2.5 approximately civilians. So that's the artillery that they would use. Soften it up. Gate Pa, Tauranga, most heavily shelled place in the New Zealand wars. More heavily shelled Gate Pa and Tauranga than any place in the Western Front of World War I. So not just Korea, and New Zealand's seen its own share of warfare as well. All right, team, here we are, tanks. Think of these cruising into the battlefield. So really came into their own in World War II. An amphibious light tank, so wood jet propeller, that one. Don't climb on the tank. That's it, huge. All armor plated, roll it in. Shout out to Grandad Donald Hayes. He was a tank engineer in World War II. So he would have been maintaining these ones for the Brits or similar. He actually signed up for the Japan invasion, but they dropped the bomb and did that before he got out of Europe. So thankfully he didn't have to fight through the Japanese peninsula as well and was able to come over and immigrate to New Zealand. Otherwise, who knows, might not be here now. So here we go. Type 59 tank. It's the Chinese produced version of the Soviet T-54 tank. So there we go, captured Soviet tank here. These are still in service in China, in Third World. This was captured by the Korean Armed Forces in Vietnam from the North Vietnamese. So, yeah, a fair few people around, but not that busy. So there we go, so that's the tanks section of the... All right, here at the Korean War Memorial, and we have this cruiser shark class ship by the Korean Navy, Korean built. Now it's full of bullet holes, missile holes. So everyone thinks of the Korean War in the 1950s. This actually happened in the early 2000s. So currently there's just still only an unstable truce between North and South Korea. So attacked by the North Koreans off the coast. This one sunk the 2 patrol vessels from North Korea. Unfortunately, 30 casualties to the North Koreans, RIP. You know, everyone deserves a peaceful life. And then another 19, I think, killed from the South Korean side, including the captain. So, yeah, it's a war that never really ends. Yeah, that's it. It's not 1950s. It's, yeah, it's some big bullet holes on the side. Let's go up and see what's going on. It's good. Lots of kids on there. So we'll see. Climb up the stairs into it. See what it is. Hello. Annyeong. Yeah, here we are. On a naval ship, Korean naval ship that actually saw service in this millennium in a battle and then was taken out. So there you go. Big machine guns on there. Turrets on there. Nice to see lots of Korean kids out and about. It's a sunny Saturday. Easter Saturday in Korea, if you're wondering where it is. There they are, siliconed up all these holes. But, you know, serious damage, serious action, obviously. Well, that's it, casualties. So look at that, ripping it apart. So yeah, constantly at war. Constant commando raids as well. So that's it. Obviously there's the Iran war at the moment. So but we're over in Korea. We're taking the shot, taking the chance, but you know, thanks to all the service members ensuring our freedom out there and ensuring that we can tour around in this. But this just goes to show that, yeah, it's not over at all. Moment, you can see that tearing through that metal. That is thick steel in there as well. So, yeah, really impressive to see. I'm not sure if impressive is quite the word, but you know, it is impressive to see what they've had to go through and have to protect their own coast and the free way of life after hearing the North Korean defector on the bus. That's it, little kids steering the ship. Very cute. Awesome. Oh well, here we go. This is a bit of a view of everything from up here. So artillery, jets, bombers, transport planes, tanks. It's all on here in Korea. All right, we've got this one. This is a semi-submersible North Korean vessel, part submarine, part jet boat. They sunk this off the very southern tip of South Korea in 1983. So yeah, they were just there causing mischief and trouble. Pretty much the North just hasn't seemed to have ever given up on trying to assassinate the leaders and covertly invade the South. It's pretty crazy to have your neighbors that are only 50 k's to the north of us up there, just constantly working out how they can invade. You know, this one, US one, flat bottom boat, looks like something from the Everglades in Florida. So they've used it over here. So, but yeah, as I was saying, over there to the north, the neighbors always there planning on how to get there and try and take Korea. All right, team, we've got an OG MASH helicopter here, nicknamed the Sooks. So this was used, or they called it the Angel of Mercy to evacuate the injured from the front lines. 8,000 while the war, 25,000 by the armistice. So they would fly in, and if you've seen MASH, this is what they would do to bring people out. So no armor, no protection. 100% heroes if you're going to be flying one of these into a combat zone to rescue people. All right, team, here we go. We're going to do a bit of a helicopter tour of the Korean War Memorial. So this is the Sooks. This is the helicopter from MASH that you'd have seen. So they use these to evacuate wounded soldiers from the front line. Absolute heroes would have been flying these. There's no armor, no protection. They rescued 8,000, well, evacuated 8,000 casualties and 25,000 by the armistice. So, you know, just crazy what mainly, you know, people would do to save their mates. So here's another one. This was used against when the North Koreans launched a commando raid in 1968. It's a reoccurring theme walking around here. It's just endless excursions by the commandos. So here's another rescue helicopter. There's Lola, excited to be in the video. It's out with the helicopters here. The Dragonfly, another rescue helicopter. Repeatedly, it was called on by the UN, shot down behind enemy lines, so they'd rescue that. You imagine your mate's been shot down behind enemy lines, then you've got to fly in there and rescue them. Dang. Freedom. Iroquois utility helicopter. I think we've still got those in service in New Zealand. The Iroquois, whenever I hear of a civil defence, they're flying those in there. Whereas now this one looks like a sort of Gulf War attack helicopter, the Cobra attack helicopter. All right, Bell, so yeah, 1967, 76, 88, maybe, you know. Looks pretty savage, imagine that, flying down the hillside and taking you out. So here we go, then we got this one here. Another utility helicopter from the Republic of Korea's Air Force. And here we go, more operational helicopters, more Lola. And here we go, we've got the last one over here on our helicopter tour. So multi-purpose, so McConnell Douglas, that's it, traveling troops in and out. So that's it, search and rescue. So there you go, lots of helicopters. And in the background, you've got all the jets and everything else. So awesome. All right, thank you for your service. All right, thank you for the service of the New Zealand service people. Check it out, 1st of August, they dispatched 2 frigates, 1,000 main ground force to help the Koreans out. So 7 years they were there. 1 regiment, 6 ships, total of 6,000 Kiwis served. 81 wounded, 45 made the ultimate sacrifice for the Koreans' freedom. So the flag flies honorably here. Next to our mates, the Aussies and the Canadians and the Turkish. So dedicated to the 6,000. Ko maraha, tonu tatu kai rato, we will remember them. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for the service. So huge monument here. So here we've got an amphibious tank. or armoured personnel carrier, and that's them rolling off the sea and onto the beach. Heads there. Hard to sort of pick it up, but there you go. So this is an amphibious assault vehicle from the US in the Korean War. So they've got a video of them here. So you can see from their tracks, they're actually designed for on ground, but also via the sea. So there we are, landing the troops in the initial invasion when the North Koreans had almost taken the whole of Korea and then rolled on, and then the forces of freedom coming in. So yeah, amazing the tech. Whew, imagine being in the back of one of those, having to get out there and take it on and go up against the defences. Thank you for your service. This is actually the limousine for Kim Il-sung, the first leader of North Korea. So this limousine was given to him by the USSR, the Soviet Union, and then when the South Koreans attacked and repelled, they actually captured this. Then they donated it to the widow of General Walker from the US Army. It went to the US, and then in the 60s, late 60s, they brought it back. So pretty crazy that the South Koreans have the limousine from the original North Koreans leader. So yeah, dear leader's limousine sits here, definitely as a tribute to the South Koreans and as a war trophy. Pretty epic diorama. Here we go, we've got the Korean, what they would refer to as the turtle ship. So armor-plated spikes on the top, mini cannon. So this is from the 19th century. This is a replica of it. How cool is the dragon head? So this is what the Korean Navy had sort of pre-industrialization. So very cool. Just another one of the treasures in the Korean War Memorial Museum. So very impressive what they've done and what they've rebuilt here. The Korean turtle ship. In the Korean War Memorial Museum, here we go, multiple arrow launchers. So it's definitely advanced the ages. So you had cannon-fired rocket arrows, obviously cannonballs, but they certainly still use their arrows as well. So there's an example of it on the TV. And you got all of this. No fighting the Japanese, it's just the Koreans have just been endlessly repelling invasions from the Japanese and the Chinese, trying to have their own culture on the Korean peninsula. Look at that, iron mace, iron flail, whoa. So iron clubs, oof. Savage crossbows, quivers. Yeah, and then those things. Imagine the strength you'd have to wield one of those. Just in an underground shopping centre for blankets from a subway station. And in here, just curtains, blankets, nice dresses, unbox maybe. More down there. Now. More blankets. A land of blankets and rugs. There we go. Construction over there, more high rises in the distance. That's where we're staying down there. Just so much. Birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Hannah! Happy birthday to you! Hooray!
We were driving up the strip on the way back from Lincoln Zone A with all the bridges.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
여기 육사비띠.
Another part of Seoul, over the Han Bridge. Marina Park, got down there. And another cityscape up there, never been here. But turtle in the river.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Flash's part. If anybody's following the story, that's the tower. So earlier stories have had that, and we were on the other side of that hill. So now we are over here.
Where?
I don't know, in Gangnam. It's the most expensive real estate in Seoul.
Oh, we went there today, Gangnam.
No, that was Gangnam. This is Gangnam. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hannah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.